Hi, Conference Board. I want to address the question of will in this example and freedom and willpower. Um, the way I see it, when you have an adrenaline rush like this, you get this metaphorical, also literal, but separate from the literal energy, you get this metaphorical feeling of energy. So, for example, while the energy was coming in through your eyes, your body was able to rearrange that and cause a feeling of energy spatially located. And all kinds of ideas and ways to help survive will pop into your mind. Now you can't do much in that situation. You are an immediate reactor, and so this is the perfect case where it looks like you don't particularly have will necessarily. The urgency is certainly not very deliberative. The role, and so that's analogous to all action. You have to create the situation that provokes the right behavior. So, what you can do, I think, is ahead of a situation, you can imagine those situations and what you'll do, and you could change your behavior. You might change it so that instead of just running, you always check and look first. Or if you know what the danger is, maybe it's always pterodactyls swooping at you, and as soon as you have that feeling, instead of running, you condition yourself to fall flat on the ground. So you can do things to use that energy when it comes through, but you can't be fiddling with the network that energy flows through while it's actually coming through. So we tinker in the in between times intellectually, is what I believe, visualizing reactions that are close enough to the current natural reaction that we're disposed towards that to act as an alternative. And and that to me is how will in general works. You create a situation that provokes the result that you want. You don't actually act out the result. That's too complicated. The will only has a little tiny power. So you prepare a situation where a little tiny power makes the difference. For example, let's say I want to have dinner and not make it myself. My action of going to a restaurant, uh, we can look at it as I did this and I got myself a meal. But really, I think a more accurate way of looking at that is that I changed my situation. And what situation can merely saying you want a meal get you a meal? Well, the situation where you're sitting in a restaurant waiting to be served. Okay? So you create these situations, and then tiny acts of will can make a difference. So then, in an action like that, you can maybe condition yourself. If you were prone to doing this sort of dangerous thing a lot, you would condition yourself to do whatever gave you that momentary survival, give your intellect a chance to think, make a few decisions, and then begin to react on this instinctual way again, this adrenaline-driven way. So I think this is a good way to try to describe, the support of will that I've given. Not that it's free will, and not really even that it acts out and creates that way the results of its action. I believe more that the will prepares things and tries to generate actions that prepare the environment such that certain results are made inevitable, or attempted to be made inevitably. Of course, nothing is truly inevitable.